Listen, I have an idea.
It's how I feel when you make lemonade. Whatever today has given you. 511 headaches, still call it Thanksgiving. True.
Welcome to another edition of the Super Dupa podcast. I'm your host, Rob Griggs, here with the super producer, Ez McMahon.
Yes. What's going on, Rob? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, my man. How about yourself?
I am doing very well. Glad to be here.
Thank you for checking out the Super Duper Pod. We do not take your listens lightly. Make sure you follow us on all socials. What up, Sarah? SUPADUPAPOD and online at HP53productions.com for our merch and additional content such as our own Ez McMahon with the Easy Smoke and GM podcast. You guys recorded last week?
You know we didn't.
Of course not. Y'all on that PTO.
Yeah,
good job by you guys.
We got things going. That's just, you know what? It's baseball season just started. Baseball season just started for Smoke. So it's gonna be a couple episodes here, a couple there.
Yeah, just pop. So we're just gonna miss all the March Madness on the sports pod. That's cool.
I mean, we are mostly a Bears pod, so
fair. As you should be called the Bears pod.
And honestly, definitely. We don't really watch that much college basketball until this time of year. Anyway,
okay, that's fair.
Is what it is.
That's fair. But make sure you check out the Easy Smoking GM podcast wherever you get your podcast. Also follow us on YouTube at HP53productions.com. So I got through the church announcements pretty fast because we got some special guests. So weekly, guys, we have the Chicago check-in. We talk about the greatest city on earth, all things in between. But this we got a special version of Chicago check-in because we have the directors of Meal Ticket, Corey Colvin and Carlton Sabbs here. How you guys doing?
Pleasure to be here, brothers.
Yeah. So again, their company there, the directors of Meal Ticket, is on Amazon. It's on Prime Video. Let me get that right. Prime Video right now. And I watched it, as I know you've seen it. It's a great documentary about the McDonald's All-American game. And so really, guys, thank you for being here today on the pod. I really mean that.
Thank you for having us, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and we're glad we caught y'all for y'all started wearing salmon socks outside. You know what I'm saying? Fishnet sweaters. Y'all got Hollywood on us, man. You got
blue collar forever.
Yeah. That's cool. That's what you say now. See him in the year, as he's like, yeah, Rob. Talk to my assistant's assistant. Then we're cool. So, fellas, want to get right into it, man. Like, what excited you the most about doing this project?
Well, I think it was just really the opportunity. I think the more we got involved with it, the more we realized how special of an opportunity it was.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that the game had been going on, like when we started, it was celebrating its 45th year anniversary. And, we just had that moment where it was like, wow, can't believe nobody has ever told this story before, and then finding out that we're the first ones to do it. And, McDonald's is believing and trusting in us. And then we get it to a point where Amazon comes to the table as our production and distribution partner. It was just super excited.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I feel like it's such a Chicago connection of getting with Cootie and Chike and them seeing me and Corey and our talents, and they had the vision of, we want you guys to be involved in potentially telling the story of the McDonald's All-American game. And with that opportunity coming to us, it just felt like, we were born to do it. And I think the challenge, of course, of knowing how important the McDonald's game is to sports fans, to basketball fans, to the culture, we just want to take that pressure on because this is a great way to come out the gate. It's like our first feature-length documentary, right?
Sure.
It's something as a tall task as the story of the McDonald's game. But I think when we got there, we filmed the 2022 game first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we didn't know as much about the game because we know more about our period. So like when you're in high school, the players that could potentially go.
Sure.
Or when I was younger, I remember in the 90s, I remember that on CBS and seeing like KG and stuff, 95 games. So like, that's what we knew, but we really needed a crash course on like, where's the game at now? What is the McDonald's game? And going in 2022, really took us to a more of a emotional level. We see the sacrifices the players are taking, how much it still means to them after
Yeah.
all these years. This new generation, the game still means a lot to them, and we had to convince the EPs and stuff of like, yo, it's worth telling their story as well. And we felt Corey and I looked at each other like, man, it's like some hoop dreams stuff
Yeah.
almost because you
Yeah.
don't know these players, but you're getting the credibility and support once we get the legends involved and get their stories. So I feel like it was just a tall task to tell this story, but I hope we did it justice, man, and the results of where it is today.
Yeah, I thought you hit it on the head, man. I thought the same thing. Like I have some knowledge of the game, but like the history of it is like that completely went over my head. So you guys did a great job of like explaining that and make sure people understand it. But just to take a step back, just in case for the three people who don't know about the McDonald's All-American game, let them know what it is so they have an understanding of what we're talking about.
Amen. McDonald's All-American Game is a high school all-star game where it brings the best seniors from boys and girls to one place to compete against each other. And they do the East versus West format, and it's 24 players on the boys team and 24 girls on the girls team. And they pick different cities every year. And it's been going on since 1977,
Yeah,
and it still exists to this day. And all of the legends that we know as far as the basketball, Mount Rushmores and what you got, they've been to the McDonald's game and walked on that floor and wore those jerseys. So
yeah.
yeah, iconic game.
And I
Yeah,
like the section. Oh, go ahead, Corey. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you got that 70% chance. Like when you get selected to the game, you have a 70% chance of going on to have a successful professional ball career. Whether that's
Yeah,
men, women. You make it to the league. You play some ball overseas. There's a good chance that if you make it to that game, you're setting yourself on a path to be able to get your meal ticket and be able to make some money playing basketball.
sure. Because I like the section of the doc where you guys have like, it's Derrick Rose and Anthony Davis. It's like in the youngest age. And one is like, man, they look real young. And it's like, no, shout out to money. Money changed your life, make it look way different. Should get some bread in your pocket. I mean, I gotta get mine together, right? but like you guys are saying, all the legends that we know, right? They came through that game, and I loved how MJ's legacy is all through it, right? It's like he came in like a whirlwind. The record was a whole big deal for years and years. So that was just dope. But you guys pulled that together. Really thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Well, before you go,
Yeah.
the Jordan stuff. I'd never seen footage of Michael Jordan playing in the McDonald's All-American game.
Mhm.
How'd you guys find that stuff?
So it's actually an interesting story because as we were getting into post-production, right? And we're getting all this archival coming through. McDonald's opens their vaults. We get ESPN and what they have, CBS, NBC. We're trying to find out the different classes, right? For some reasons, we're getting through it. We can't find the 1981 McDonald's tape. Okay, so it just doesn't exist. We find out who broadcasted it. It was NBC. We can't track it down. So I mean, it's over a year goes by, and we're in post, and we can't find it. So I'm talking to Corey like, "Hey man, I don't know, man. Conspiracy theories is approaching, man, and coming to, man. I think Michael Jordan might have confiscated that tape, bro." So we thought that because we learned the story from sitting down with Mike Jarvis. So Mike Jarvis is telling us the game, Chris Mullin is telling us the story, and they're telling us that, Michael Jordan, not only did he, set the scoring record at that time, but he also didn't get the MVP.
Yeah.
And that was a big deal because Mike Jarvis was like, man, he was on the elevator with Michael Jordan's mom and Billy Packer, and she was chewing, going into him like, my son, why you play my son like that? He always getting overlooked. There's all this little politics stuff. So we was like, man, we didn't see it in the last dance. It's like
Mm.
Mike want to protect his mom. I mean, we just overthinking this at this point, bro. Like, is Mike protecting his mom? Like, what is going on? He don't want people to know that he didn't get the MVP, but come to find out, we just needed a better archivist, and
Mike, like, which I didn't care. Sure, it's like,
no, for real. Like Rob, like Ed, like we were, like Carlton said, Mickey D's opened up that vault. We had producers on the ground going through the archive, like at the headquarters, and they sending us back them old school, CD books that you used to have to keep in your car.
Yeah.
Like we getting books of like that, and it's got like damn near everything in there. There was still some gems missing, but what we were looking for was that 81 tape, and like we're getting everything except that. And like Carlton said, what else could we believe? But Mike got that footage chilling in his crib.
So no losses on the record, man.
Man, that's crazy because I've well, not like I said, because I haven't said it yet, but I've worked in sports media for 25 plus years. I worked at the place outside of NBA entertainment, the best Michael Jordan library for footage we had at NBC Sports Chicago. We had every Michael Jordan game from 84 through 98, everything. And I had never seen MJ in a McDonald's All-American uniform. So that was when I saw that, I was like, wow. I was hella impressed about that.
I mean, it was incredible. Like after all that, and we had the buildup of the conspiracy, and to finally see the tape for the first time, and it's Bruce Jenner queuing them up. Like it's just a lot going on, man.
Yeah.
You get Patrick Ewing looking like super young Patrick Ewing. Mike is getting measured, for his length and his high jump, his vertical. Like it was perfect, once we finally did get it. So yeah, I'm glad. I don't know if the world realizes it yet, man. We got some of the last like unseen Michael Jordan footage right now.
That's awesome. I love the again on the GOAT debate. Y'all know I rock with the original 23, but I gotta say, seeing young LeBron was like, you forget how like athletic and fast that he was, in his high school era, and first coming in the NBA. We've seen him for 20 plus years now. You kind of take it for granted. So it's just cool to see everybody just young and figuring out their bodies, and what it's like, the rest of the story, like when you see Paul Pierce and KG, and it's just nice to see like these guys, they got their dreams. This is the first kind of step into their dream. Like that's a big milestone for them. I think that's why I thought it was so important to them, because like, wow, this means my dream is real. Like it's attainable. I'm almost there to be selected as a McDonald's All-American, man. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah, that LeBron era, it was one of the resurgence of the Mickey D's game.
Yeah.
There've been a few things throughout history that got the people excited about the game, but like you said, that movement in 03 when LeBron senior year of high school, and he was doing what he was doing, getting those games broadcasted on ESPN.
Yeah.
People checking him out, digging for dirt, doing all kind of stuff. And then. Like I don't know if it's ever become like a for sure concrete thing, but even that year with the McDonald's game, just to make sure that they could, have a presence by him there and be excited about it. Some people say that's the reason they even had the game in Cleveland that year.
Probably so.
I mean,
yeah.
It's like what?
It's like just everything happened for Cleveland that year, man. So everything happened right.
It's so true.
Yeah. And I appreciated how you guys intertwine the girls, that are part of the McDonald's All-American, right? And how that, again, stuff you just take for granted, because now is everybody like the W makes pushing that women's sports, especially women's basketball, is at some instances it was more watched than men's college basketball, right? But like you look at your doc and you kind of show like it didn't come up until, was it 2002? Is that correct?
Yep.
And that was wild. That was shocking. But I guess when you look back at the time, it's not surprising, unfortunately, right? But just talk a bit about how you intertwine the women's game into the doc and how important that was to put that in there.
Yeah, I think it was it's a beautiful thing, man. I mean, first, Corey always says this, like when we got to the 2022 game and we learned really like how hard it is for the women players to get that recognition and that attention. And they kind of carry themselves like we remember basketball being growing up, where they have this chip on their shoulders. They're
Yeah.
hungry. They play super hard, and they got game, man. The evolution of the game, has changed drastically for the women's side. So to see how McDonald's played a big part in helping create a platform for young girls, is fire, man. Like the founder, Bob Gagan, this guy legitimately just was the first to even think of the idea. Like, why not do the girls? Just like it'd be cool with some cool girl hoopers out there. They missed the bus off of like Diana Taurasi, I think was like just a year ahead, or Cappy Pondexter, Chicago legend. These people get missed, Tamika Catchings and stuff, because the game didn't exist. So you didn't even know how great they could have been on that platform and stage. But now, look at basketball. Look at women's basketball with the new money deal, right? With the $300,000 minimum and stuff. Like, it's incredible for the players that we was able to put our lens on. We're so happy for what they are getting ready to receive and all the work being done. But to be able to get Simone Augusta's story in the film and Simone Augustus talk about that struggle and how real it is for women's basketball and how it's been for years. Like Cheryl Miller, like you gotta search for her tape. Reggie Miller still, talks, a big game to let people know, like, my sister was better than me, so it's a shame that it took so long, but I think we've learned too, the women's basketball is actually very, very compelling, and we've been watching like March Madness right now this year. We got to see Juju and it is so. It's changed us working on this film. We wish other people could really see, what goes on behind the scenes, man, with these women.
Let me ask you guys this: the storylines that came out of the 2022 game, with Flau'jae and then with Lively, without giving up too much. How did you guys know to delve into some of the topics that they talked about, when they were talking about their lives, leading up to the game?
Well, I think going into it, it was like, a lot of research. Carlton is like a guru with the Excel spreadsheets and,
You always need one. Somebody got
right, Carlton came with this whole database with that roster and was basically like, when we get there, this is who we should follow. Like, this is who we should like spend our time on, But I don't know if you want to take credit for it, Carlton, but the Flau'jae thing, in all honesty, I feel like we got lucky with our production partners like Rock Nation, right? Like, Flau'jae was kind of like forced on us a little bit, but looking back at it, it was for the best because, like,
absolutely, you can't hear that without that story there.
It was great.
And then to what her story arc brings to the film is, she's somewhat the quintessential underdog. Like, some people would say that she probably shouldn't even have been there, with where she was ranked. Some people might have had some other people there, but that was that first game coming out of COVID. There was a lot of things going on with like the national rankings and, are we going by ESPN's list? Are we going by this publication's list? All those kind of things. But like, to her credit, like, Flau'jae came to that game with a chip on her shoulder and, she had a hit list, like, she came in there on a mission. She wanted to prove all her doubters wrong. And, she tried, she almost did it. And she grabbed her future by the horns, like in the film, you see her say, next time you see me on ESPN, it's going to be different. And she gets to LSU, plays an important part in winning that national championship with Angel Reese and the rest of the LSU team. And like, she just a dog. Like, even to this day, I'm watching the tournament and damn near every commercial that comes on, you got Flau'jae pushing their product right now.
Man, that's cool. That's cool. That's super cool. So we know you guys talked about the footage that you saw, and we know it's with stuff like this. Any film you make, there's some stuff you had to leave out. So what's some stuff you had to leave on the cutting room floor that you wish could have made the doc, but you wanted, limitations said differently?
You know, it's countless. This film could have been a series easily.
Mm,
You know, easily. It's just so many rich stories, from the players, personal stories to just big things that we was trying to just tackle and get across the line. It was just killing our runtime and, trying to manage what Amazon wants to do versus the producers and things. But you've got, for one, we got the snub story, which is pretty fascinating, where it's so many McDonald's All-Americans that didn't, I mean, players that didn't make the McDonald's All-American game,
sure.
that you like, whoa, really? And we just had a moment where we might have asked like Blake Griffin first, and we was like, Blake, did you know that John Wall wasn't a McDonald's All-American? He was like, what? Hold up, what, really? And so he was like, okay, this might be a thing. So then we like, all right, Baron Davis, did you know John Wall? And everybody's response was just so
That's
blunt.
wild,
Like,
though.
John
they
Wall was a
like,
one and done, right?
yeah, that's how they talk. That's exactly how they responded. Like,
Wow. I
he was
didn't know
one and
that.
done. When he ranked second, when he the first pick in the draft the next year? I was like, bruh, right. So,
Interesting.
yeah, so we was learning about that and like the politics of it. Then it becomes a snowball of like, oh man, there's so many players. Like, it's still not as many as you think it would be. So that McDonald's does get it right a lot every year, but some people just have like, they late bloomers.
Yeah.
But we saw like Allen Iverson. They are very particular on like if you got stuff going on in your life. Like he just got out of jail,
Yeah.
so
So he
but
wasn't gonna make it.
he
He's a
wasn't
big
no
Burger King All-American. I got you. Yeah. Go to the other
seriously.
league, fam.
But they,
Yeah.
they get mad about that stuff, man, if they didn't get that game nod. But that's one of them, man. The slam dunk contest is actually very iconic at the McDonald's game because
Yeah.
a lot of players don't participate once they get to the next level. But for some reason, the McDonald's game creates this atmosphere where they want to do it because I don't know if it's the brotherhood or whatnot, but they want to participate in it. So you got people like Zion has done it. Um, God Sham God told us like Vince Carter was doing the same dunks that he was doing in the NBA when he took the NBA by storm that year, right? He did the same dunks in the McDonald's game, and we looking and we like, damn, he did though. So it's like beautiful stuff like that. Who else? LeBron James being in it, we had a nice like story in that it was just tough to get over the line. And like I said, man, it's like countless things, man, because these personal stories that exist, we just like, oh man, this needs to be a series, man, to do it
Yeah.
proper justice. And there's like little small stuff of like Kevin Garnett almost didn't get to play because he was acting up in 95,
Mm.
and it forced the hand of the founder. The founder was like, yo, should we not let him play because he's getting the kids riled up? So we had Paul Pierce and all them like defying like the authorities and stuff, and they during like the slam dunk contest stuff, they just acting silly. So they couldn't control Kevin Garnett, and they was getting ready to like let him sit. But it's like, no,
Can't do
you're
that.
not.
Yeah, you can't do that. Nobody
You're
gonna watch. Right, all right.
like, no, you're not. But yeah, yeah,
Corey, you got anything, man?
I just really enjoy like the history that was coming out the game, like
Yeah.
what we were able to put out there about, hearing that, there was talk about that '95 class, pulling, a reinsurgence of like the Fab Five, kind of story about
Mhm.
players going to play again with each other in college and seeing what that was going to be like. And just the Kevin Garnett changing and opening up that door for players to go to the league. And I just think it's just so many like Easter eggs and like little historic facts that I'm happy that we're able to put out there and for people to know, especially like a lot of basketball fans out there. Now this is some more barbershop talk that people can have.
The one
Absolutely.
the one story I found very interesting was I forgot that the year the Fab Five guys were in the game, Glenn Robinson was also there, and that they were trying to get Glenn Robinson
That'd have been
to
sick, man.
to dump Purdue to go to Michigan. That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Man, crazy.
Crazy.
We asked who was it? Jalen? Was it Scoop? I think it was Scoop Jackson. And we were like, Scoop, what you think about Glenn Robinson if he had became a part of the 5-5? And he was like, I don't think it would have worked. I don't think it would have worked. And he was very confident. We
Oh,
were like, what you
Scoop
mean?
is crazy.
Scoop. We like,
Because
what
they
you
done had every
mean?
position covered, man. What are you talking about?
He said,
They done ran through that.
he said Glenn Robinson like really demanded the ball in his playing style, and he was such a scorer where that team really needed to go through Chris Webber. That's what he was saying, and we were just, I mean, it's just a barbershop talk of it. We like, okay, but
If Glenn Robinson is at Michigan, they win 2 national championships.
Easy.
easy.
Guaranteed.
He was so cold at Purdue with the high socks.
Guaranteed.
Man,
Yeah.
he was unstoppable. I'm glad we were able to like showcase how incredible he was at the McDonald's game though. Like the dunks that he was doing, like people really forget how amazing Glenn Robinson was, man. He was a baller. And yeah, I'm glad we was able to like get that footage in there and stuff. But yeah, it's that story is crazy that the Fab Five started at the McDonald's game, man. That's why Jalen Rose was so excited to talk to us and just to tell us that. Like, he's like, man, that was when the idea kind of came. First, they was at the Nike camp, I think, where they first met. And then when they got to the McDonald's game, they was like on a mission of like, yo, we about to show the world, we got to do something different.
Well,
Yeah,
Nike, if you guys remember Hoop Dreams,
yeah, they in it.
the Nike
Remember?
camp is you see Chris Webber, you see Juwan Howard,
Mhm.
Jalen is there. So yeah, that's where they
That's
initially
where they
all
met.
they all met at. Yeah,
And
yeah.
they said Juwan was the recruiter. So
Mm.
Juwan went on the mission to get everybody in. They say they respected him because he was the cool Chicago guy, and he got everybody to get together, man, to play together. So it's a cool story, man.
Yeah,
Speaking of
speaking.
go ahead, Corey. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, like Carlton said, like the recruiter, that even like talking about the KG side of things, KG coming to Farragut, being recruited by, a Chicago legend, Ronnie Fields. That was one of the stories that we wanted to be able to touch on too, like just being, Chicago kids and talking about that legend of, this baby MJ, that was selected as a McDonald's All-American, didn't get a chance to actually play in the game because he was injured. But all the talk around him, potentially even being better than Kobe, playing against Kobe that year, didn't get a chance to see that. And then there was like what else we were seeing like in 2023 when we got to Houston it was a big year of where you started to see the current kids being children of ex-players of the game. So you started to see a lot of players showing up and it was like, oh, my dad played in the game or even my mom played in the game. So you get to start to see some of that lineage history as well.
Yeah, because we had an idea too that didn't like we couldn't really bring it to fruition. Was like on paper, you look at the Wagner story, is like, whoa, we wanted to almost build the film around the Wagner family, which is, Dewan Wagner was the one that we grew up kind of seeing who was dropping 70 points in high school and stuff,
Yeah.
and was at the game with Jay-Z. But then his father, Milt Wagner, played with Jordan in 81. So we was like, oh man, so he was a McDonald's All-American. Then they had 2023. Dewan Wagner's son is the McDonald's. So it's never been done where it's 3 generations
Wow.
of McDonald's All-Americans. And DJ Wagner was like, had the hype when we got there. So we was like, man, this would be a dope story to kind of maybe
Sure.
build around. They all from Camden, New Jersey, so it gives you a little bit of that like edgy feel too. But yeah, I think NIL kind of killed that for us. And
Yeah, that was the thing itself. It was like when we did the contemporary players in 2022, you still have some of that like that thing of just pure, I'm a child,
Yeah, I'm happy to
I'm
be here.
17, 18 years
Yeah.
old. We giving them release forms to sign, and they're like, okay, let me get this to my mom, let me get this to my dad, I'll get it back to you. There were a few people, like there were a few like players starting to get their stuff in order, But you heard every once in a while, let me talk to my agent or my representation or something. But when we went to Houston for that 2023 game, oh, they agents galore. It was just
Yeah.
I got, and then like Carlton was saying, when that the Wagner side of it, even the momagers, the momagers are in place, and everybody looking out for the best interest of their child, which makes sense, but they had it really buttoned up in 03 before, like, I mean, in 23 when we went in and talk to players.
And fellas, again, we really appreciate y'all being here. Don't want to hold you too much longer, but I do want to ask, like, again, you guys got this on Prime Video, and I can tell you're excited about it. Like, how do you guys feel just about getting this project done? It's been a labor of love personally, right? Like, you guys got a movie over the finish line. Ez and I joke a lot about Tubi, like, hey, you laugh at these Tubi movies. They made a movie, right? You guys actually made, like, it's not an easy feat, man. So how do you guys feel being at these screenings and sitting in these director's chairs? Like, how does that make you guys feel?
Oh man, I mean, it's definitely a labor of love. It feels like, this is our meal ticket as well as filmmakers and what we sought out to do as far as our dreams before, like, me and Corey first met, and we were talking about, like, this being a possibility in the art world, and to actually be able to get an opportunity to do it. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a bit of a relief too, because we didn't know if this film would ever come out. I mean, once it gets to like 4 years, you just like, I don't know, I don't know if it's meant to be, because I don't know if you hear, they say it's like it takes a miracle to make a film, man. It
Yeah.
really does, man. It takes a lot of things to go right. And it did for this, God agreed that, this should happen. And yeah, man, we grateful. And but it also feels too, I think, when you in it and doing all of the work, it feels like normal, like it's supposed to happen,
Mm.
because it's so much that goes into it in making this film, especially documentary storytelling. Um, it's so intense and intimate and gruesome, and it puts stress on everybody, the family. So it's relief once you get to this phase. Like, okay, we good. Okay, all right, man, we did this. So this is the easy part, to be honest. Like, to be in the director's chair and just to do a screening and stuff is easy now, because,
Yeah.
convincing people that we could really do this and tell the story, which is going to be your first one at that. Everybody's trying to give us advice. We've got people reselling ideas to us that we told them first. I mean, it's everything.
I said that 2 years ago, right?
2 years ago, I got the Zoom footage. Yeah, man. So yeah, it's an honor, man. It's a beautiful thing. You don't take it for granted, but definitely know that if you made a film, man, a person went through a lot.
Yeah.
People have gone through a lot to get a film over the edge, man.
Yeah. It feels very Ricky Bobby-ish sometimes. I had those moments where it's just like, I don't know what to do with my hands right now, kind of thing, So it's like, I remember asking myself like that next day of like what are we gonna do now, kind of thing, or what's next, or do you hear from these people ever again that you've been talking to and working with for like the last 4 years on the film? It's just like one of those things of like, what's next? But then you get past that and you just kind of go on this ride where it's just like, wow, we did that, and I feel like to be able to go through that journey with Carlton, knowing how hard we've been working and growing and just trying to do our thing and get the respect, or just have people be able to see what we're capable of doing. Like it feels really good, and it takes a village, like Carlton said, put stress and wear and tear on your health, your mental, your family time, all those kind of things. A lot of sacrifices, but when you get here, you can't help but to feel proud. And shout out to like everybody who played a helping part in it, with the archival footage, trying to find different things. Like you said earlier, as you've been working in sports media for all those years. I remember even hitting you up being like, y'all ain't got nothing with Mike in 81 around.
Actually, I was like, man, I've never seen it.
I was, even like when Carlton and I were trying to like land on like the look and feel and the aesthetic value of it, I remember you being there to pick up the call, and I was like, yo, Ez, what were they filming the games on in 95? And things like that, so that we could try to be able to do those things, bring that look and feel to the game, so definitely takes a village, a lot of time and effort into it, for sure.
Hey, I got a personal question here. This probably is more for therapy for me here. So I've been working in this game for a long time. Obviously you watch it during the editing process, and you got to the finish line. You premiered Thursday. Are you able to watch it back now that it's finished?
Mm. You know,
Yo, touched the nerve there, is.
no, I mean, I feel when we got to color, and I told Corey, I was like, dude, I'm not watching this film again. I was like, I've seen this shit too many times, man. I've seen this goddamn film, 500 times. So the only reason my wife came to me, she was like, man, y'all definitely should watch it before you first screen it, because there's nothing like that feeling of going, like being in the theater where you're there to celebrate, all the fruits of the labor. But then you like, what the fuck? What happened here? Like, where's you just noticing stuff. And so I'm glad that we watched it back then, right before the screening, and I was like, "Oh, this ain't bad," and it felt good to take step away. So I think for anybody that wants to make a film, I would say that was probably a good approach. Of like, we took a big break from it, if you get a chance to, and then revisit it and seeing it with like almost like fresh dumb eyes, like, oh, damn, we did that. Okay, you know and now I can watch it over and over again. I ain't gonna, no lie, no lie. I'm
Nah,
just I'm at peace. I think Corey probably feels the same, man. We just at peace with it.
No, for sure. I remember like working on it, like Carlton was, primarily in those edit sessions, like Carlton likes to, roll up his sleeves, go into edit sessions, do things to try to make our editor jobs like really easy for them, try to make things as efficient as possible. So Carlton was laying out a lot of these pods already to like make the stories connect and transition. So then that way, once they got to our editors, they just really had to put the puzzle together. So like Carlton's been married to this footage like forever, right? And I remember having these conversations with him where he would just be like, man, you think people gonna laugh at that part? Or, like you think that joke gonna land, or people gonna get this, or what else would it be? Like what about pulling on people's like their emotions, the pulling on the strings of their heart? Like, is that gonna hit? And I would tell Carlton, I was like, man, I watched what you sent and I got goosebumps. So I don't know what you talking about, man. Like this, like it's gonna hit, it's gonna land, it's gonna win. And like Carlton said, it did get to a point too for me where I think the last time that I had watched it was when we were in the color sessions together, and almost damn near maybe like a year. I don't know if I'm being dramatic, but I feel like it was almost like a year before it came to us to even be able to watch it again. And that's when Carlton was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. And I think I might have said the same thing, but I watched that shit that night. I did. I was just like, I want to see it. Like, I want to check it out. But it came out. It came out well. I think the concern too was like we really didn't know what all the studio might have like removed from it. Because it got to that point where we put the archival stuff in there that we felt could like tell the story, but then throughout the post supervision process, what actually can get clear, what might have to be subbed out, it could have been like little things in there that needed to be changed. But for the most part, I mean, they let us rock, they let us cook, and the film that we put together is what the world gets to see now.
Man,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I asked that question because for me, whenever I'm working on something that I have a huge footprint in, once it's done, I can't watch. So I had just Friday, I had a show aired on CHSN that was mostly mine. I couldn't watch it. I had to, like, it was on. I was in studio. I had to put my back to the screen when it was airing because I couldn't watch. I had a show, the last show at NBC Sports Chicago, the 20-year look back was a show that I edited the entire show. The show was nominated for an Emmy. I never watched it. After it was done with on the in the edit room, I'm done with it. I can't look at this again. Can't do it. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's just a nervous thing. It's just something that's crazy in my head. I don't know. I don't know what that
Right.
is.
He talk
Right now,
want to talk out to the pod, man.
Maybe I need a therapist. Yeah,
I'll take a minute, brother.
just to
Cool,
look
man.
at that.
Anything for you,
Absolutely.
dog.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
well, right. I know. Right now, we got this boy on repeat around
Yeah.
here because it's like multiple TVs,
You trying to get the
multiple
numbers up.
trying to get them numbers up.
Hey,
Hey, I'm
until
with
that
you.
note, yeah.
I'm with
And
you.
listen, we want everybody to make sure you go find Meal Ticket on Prime Video. And fellas, when we do this pod and we invite people who are, working for themselves and doing their own projects, we want to show people like the dreams you have can come true, right? And as a little brother song we always quote, I got dreams, but dreams don't keep the lights on. Like you still gotta work, you still gotta grind for us. You guys are an example of really going after your dreams and making it happen and then seeing it come to pass, right? And like seeing it happen and being able to celebrate. So thank you for the opportunity to let us talk about it and celebrate you fellas. So again, any last pictures you got for Meal Ticket, please feel free to let people know where to find it and do like Corey on your phone, on your tablet, on your TV. Watch it. You guys go ahead.
Now I would
Yeah.
say watch list it, give it the thumbs up. It's Meal Ticket on Prime Video. It's available worldwide right now, so you got no excuses if you're traveling. It's March Madness. When your bracket gets busted and your favorite team lose and you need some cheering up, throw on Meal Ticket.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Throw it on some Prime Video. I also say too, man, it's a lot of McDonald's haters out there too, man. It's not really sports fans. It's not, the internet is weird, okay, in this new era. So to combat that too, man, if people can, I'm telling you, do your own ratings on IMDb as well for this year because McDonald's just triggers people in a weird way right now with like the news in Gaza, there was support for Israel.
Okay.
Like this, people are on one right now against McDonald's. It has nothing to do with
the movie.
basketball or
Yeah.
propaganda, which our film doesn't represent. So I just wanted to get that out there as well. Like, if people watch, make sure they support as much as they can because this is real storytelling, man, on an authentic level. I think it's up there with a lot of good sports docs and stuff, especially for basketball, man. So definitely want to get the love and just due for it.
Absolutely.
And also, fellas, let us know where we can follow you. I know you guys have your company, your socials. Feel free to take a minute to put your socials out there as well.
Yep. C.sabbs on Instagram. You got StonyandYates.com, STONY, not an E, because if you know,
If you know, you know.
StonyandYates.com and the DJ C3PO.
Throwback, yeah. No, I'm at C3PO. Same Stony and Yates is our joint social right now, but personal is C3PO from my Star Wars geek out days. It's C the number 3 HREEPO. That's how I spell it, and yeah, that's that. Appreciate you. And, you know, for real, you know, with Stoney and Yates, you know, we take our hats off to you guys too. Like, you know, where you guys are going at HP 53 with the podcast lane. I feel like you guys were ahead of the curve, and, you know, much success, and, you know, wish you guys the best in what you all are doing too. And anything that we can do to help support, you know, we got your back too.
Appreciate that, man.
Appreciate you, sir.
And whenever you guys got your next projects, feel free to come back to the pod. Again, hopefully I can talk to y'all directly, not your assistants. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not on here before y'all too Hollywood. I mean, again, I'm just saying, y'all, I put it on the record. I'm just putting it out there. No, fellas, really appreciate y'all. I really do. Thanks, guys, for your time.
All right. Appreciate y'all.
All right.
All right. Peace.
Again, I want to thank Corey and Carlton from Stoney and Yates and the directors of Meal Ticket that's on Prime Video right now. Really, again, it's a great documentary. Really want y'all to check that out. As Corey said, on every device you got, run it up, hit the likes. I didn't realize the thing about the IMDb. So, you know, go check that out as well. Get the reviews there. Really, this is a great documentary. Some great young guys who did some really good work, man. So let's support it. Especially if you're like, you know, we need to support more Black films and so on and so forth. Here's your opportunity to do so. Prime Video. You probably using somebody else's account anyway, so just go ahead and hit that like button on there.
Like it, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying, and run it up. I might run it again before I go to sleep, man. But
I was gonna say, one of the things that shows me that it's a good doc is that I learned something from a documentary. I learned a lot from this documentary. A lot of stuff I didn't know about.
Sure.
In the origins of the McDonald's All-American game, and so it's a good watch. It's definitely a good watch.
I'll say this. I mean, you know, we talk about Magic a lot. Really, Magic is a very influential person in just basketball history, period. You know what I'm saying? Just like he's the first to do a lot of stuff, the first to move a thing, you know what I mean? And I wasn't surprised. Like the first big name of this was Magic Johnson. Was not shocked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like shout out to Magic Johnson, because, you know, he gets pushed over when we talk about GOATs and that kind of thing. He's never ever mentioned, but trust and believe he's a GOAT. He's not even close. You know what I'm saying? Like Magic is their real deal, man. So before we wrap up, man, I know as we didn't do our normal shenanigans at the top because we had a special guest, but you know, we've been talking about just gas and traveling and like how about, hey, the midterm elections are probably like a little over 200 days away. Y'all know what we got to do. Go ahead and vote. Y'all know what you got to do. You'll see what's happening outside. Gas about to be a bill again. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you take care of your business.
Not already. It's about there.
So take care of your business and your location, your county, wherever you are. You know what I'm saying? So in November, because guess what? This ain't gonna be fixed by November. So you still gonna have that angst in your heart and in your chest. And so as you're gonna travel out the country anytime soon, bro?
Actually, I will.
Oh, see, hey, you better than me. I'm going to Memphis. I'm going to Milwaukee. I'm going to Baton Rouge. You know what I'm saying?
We just booked the trip.
Hey man, listen. I keep you lifted in prayer, brother. Keep you lifted in prayer.
We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be.
Hey, listen. I know
we're going to the opposite side of the world. So yeah, we'll be all right.
Yeah. You got to be strategic with the places you go to now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
where we go, I'm not gonna say where we're going, but where we're going, they ain't messing around over there.
Okay. Let's hope not. Super Duper Pod. Answer's still missing, guys. So this is
y'all better keep looking for me.
This is week 9. I'm just doing solo pods now. Sarah's editing is on her own, man. So, but thank you for checking out the Super Duper Pod. We do not take your listens lightly. Make sure you follow us on all socials, SUPA, DUPA, POD, and online at hp53productions.com for our merch and additional content. Also on YouTube at HP53 Productions. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment. The foolishness will be deleted, but comment with all the positive stuff. As I missed anything?
No, I think you covered it all.
All right. Thank you for checking us out. Hey, mama, take care of yourselves and each other. I did that backwards. This is the Super Duper Podcast.
That's champagne, real pain, champagne from you and I. Wait, you and I? Now that's champagne if you was I. Would you be off on this campaign? Is it suicide? If you know that bringing hope here is how careers die. Or do the K stand for kamikaze? The J silent is everywhere, you can feel them probably. Surely, lately, I've been up late with demons in my basement trying to get me to hate this. Life thinking I should be further and then I choke up. As soon as I got silent, then the truth spoke up. This said, how you know you ain't perfect? Let that soak up and soak in. You know how you know that you blessed? I woke up, feeling oh my God, feeling myself, know why? Cause I woke up. That's all it takes to be great, y'all. That's all it takes. I woke